So now that we are here in Excel and we've got a copy of our data and we've changed it into a table, let's start doing some exploratory data analysis. And we're going to start with summary statistics, and more specifically, we're going to call this univariate single variable summary statistics. So I'm not going to subdivide my data set. I'm just going to go one variable and I'm going to do a summary of the values. And we're going to start off obviously with the numerical variables such that we can think about the normal or the ones that we use most often, levels of central tendency or measures of central tendency and measures of dispersion. So let's go down one of our numerical variables, and age would be a brilliant one. So let me just select that first column. I've just clicked on A there. You see that first column is highlighted. First of all, let's just increase the screen size a bit so that we can have a better look at what's going on. So I've clicked on A, and there we go. My first column there is selected. That's age. That is what I want to do summary statistics of. So what I'm going to do, and what I really do suggest, is I'm going to click on this first cell called the first cell, A1. I'm going to hold down Shift and Command on my Mac OS system. On Linux and Windows, you're going to hold down Shift and Control, and I'm going to click the down. While I'm holding those down, I'm going to click on the downward facing arrow. Now that's going to jump me right down to the bottom, and so that whole column of only the values, age, and then the first subject, which is in row number 2, the second subject in row number 3, all the way down, is going to be selected. So it's Shift Command down arrow or Shift Control down arrow. Now I'm going to hold down Command and hit C for copy, or Control then and C for copy, and I see the marching ants go all the way around. And I'm going to make a brand new sheet, and I'm going to call the sheet age. And then I'm going to go to cell 1 and I'm just going to paste all of this. So once again, the drop down, and I'm just going to say paste special, and all I really want is just the text to be copied. So there we go. I have made a copy of only the age, and now I know in this cell I'm going to do univariate summary statistics, and if I wanted to, data visualization only for this age column. And this is a brilliant way of using Microsoft Excel for data science and statistics. I'm not using this in the traditional form that we will try and do everything on that one sheet and that sheet becomes just overloaded with information. That is not what I want to do here. I want to create these individual sheets that contains the data analysis that I want to do. So let's start with measures of central tendency. And of course, the one that we're going to go for, first of all, is the mean. So you can type this anyway. Let's go to D1 and I'm going to type mean. And I know I'm just going to calculate the mean for this numerical variable. Now this is ratio type numerical variable, in as much as there is a true zero. They're all numbers. And if we were to scroll down, you'll see very quickly that, of course, there are no values that were typed that were incorrect. There's no -10 there. No one wrote 48F, writing out the word 40. This is just all pure, clean numbers. This is tidy data. So we're going to use a formula. So let's put all the values right next to the measure. So that would be the mean. Now remember, this is a sample mean. This is not a whole population. So that's important for us to remember. And the formula in Excel to calculate the mean is called average. And the way that you access the formulas is just to start typing the equal symbol and then immediately the name of our formula. So it's all going to be uppercase, A, V, E. And you can see as I start typing, Microsoft Excel is going to list for me all the formulas or functions then that start with A, V, E as far as I type. And the one that I want obviously is right at the top. I can just click on that average and it's just going to complete that word for me so that I don't have to type out everything. It's also going to do the opening parenthesis for me. And after any keyword, such as a formula function, you have to have open and closing parentheses. So the opening parenthesis is already there. Now, what I want to do is only the numbers. So what I'm going to do is, while that is all still written there, I'm going to sneakily move my cursor down to that first value. The first subject in row number 2 is 40. So I'm going to click on that 40, and I'm going to do that same trick. I'm going to hold down Shift and Command, hold them down. That'll be Shift Control on Windows and Linux. And while I'm holding that down, I'm going to hit the downward arrow, and it jumps right to the bottom. And all I have to do now is close my parenthesis. So I've let go of the keyboard, and now I'm going to hold Shift down again, and hit my 0 on my keyboard because Shift and 0 gives me the closing parenthesis, and there we go. So look right up there, it might be a little bit small, but it says equals in this formula bar up here, equals average, open parentheses, A2, that's column A, row 2, and then a colon, which means contiguously all the way down to A919. So column A, row 919. So I'm going from A2 to A919. And what I can do now, see that little tick mark there? Just going to hit that, and now it's calculated for me. So I'm going to click outside the cell, back in the cell. As soon as I click back in the cell, you can see there in my formula bar, the formula appears there. The average from A2 to A919 is going to be 53.5108932. That is the average age or the mean age. Let's go for one more. I'm going to go for the median. So let's type median there. Let's jump. I just have to hit my right arrow to jump to the cell next to it. So I'm now in cell E2. And the median is just equals MED. And you see median appears for me. I can just click on it to autocomplete for me. The open parenthesis is already there. So again, I'm going to sneakily move down to the 40. Click on it. Hold down Shift Command or Shift Control down arrow. Everything is selected. I'm just going to hold down Shift and close my parenthesis. And I'll just hit Return or Enter. So there we go, the median was 54. Half of the values in this data set, half of the subjects were younger than 54 and the other half were older than 54. It is the second quartile or 50th percentile value. So let's do some measures of dispersion, and the first one that I'm going to go for is the variance. So let's do variance, and that's very easy. It's going to equal VAR. And as soon as I do VAR, you see there's two, VAR.P and VAR.S. Very simple. That's for population and for the sample. And remember, the denominator is N for population and N minus 1, one less than the sample size. And because this is just a sample from the population, I'm going to choose VAR.S. Click on that. Open parenthesis already there. Sneakily move down to the first value. Shift Command or Shift Control down arrow. And then Shift and close the parenthesis. And there we go. I have now calculated the variance. And it seems the variance is 88.98. And together with that, of course, remember variance would be square. So that would be age square. And who knows what an age square is. I want the same units. So I'm going to do the standard deviation. So let's do standard deviation. And for that one, I'm going to equal STD. And there we go. STDEF.P for population, S for sample. So I'm going to click on the S, sneakily move down to the 40, Shift Command, Shift Control down arrow, Shift close parenthesis, hit Return or Enter, and there we go. We see 9.432. So my mean is 53 and my standard deviation is 9.43. So I can say the mean age is 53 plus or minus 9.432. 9.43 is one standard deviation away from the mean. So that would be the 4 common values that we would calculate for summary statistics.